This is the aulos of Poseidonia, and there are many things that are unknown about how to play it. And one of the things that I'm fascinated by are these holes down at the bottom. Now, I've taken some ancient Greek bicycle inner tube and I'm using this to cover the hole because there are 5 finger holes on the top of the instrument and I've only got 4 fingers. What that means is that either this hole at the bottom was never used, or it was, and if it was, then you could cover it. And when you cover it, the lowest note available is a tone lower, and that fundamentally changes what you can do. So I've covered the bottom hole on both instruments. We don't know whether or not they did this. We do know that in the Roman period, actually probably much earlier, they had rotating rings. So they certainly did, and they had many more holes. So I think all human beings want more. So they have more holes and they create mechanisms to cover them. Wonderfully complicated mechanisms. But this is an instrument from the 5th century BC. And I like to think that it's not primitive at all. And it's a bit like the Highland bagpipe. If you approach it in a particular way, then it is immensely rich. But you do need to approach it in a particular way, and that particular way is called the few note style. In other words, you don't use all the notes you've got, because otherwise it gets very boring very quickly. So you restrict an individual piece, or in fact large stretches of minutes within a piece, to a small subsection of your tonal palette. It's a bit like a Picasso blue or a red. You just focus on one part of the spectrum. And then, of course, you can modulate, or you can give people a real surprise by playing a different note. So, here are the notes that become available when you cover the bottom 2 holes. Now that reed is perfectly capable of giving me that 4th below, as well as the major 3rd below. So, let's see how that works out with, yes, a little improvisation. This is the chromatic genus. Yes, thank you to Marco Sciascia, who made this, to Robin Howell, who made the reeds, and to the director of the museum here at Paestum. This is where the instrument was found in 1969, and in a, well, it was a grave just 1.5 kilometres down there, and beside the pipe was the remains of a lyre, a bit of tortoise shell, some pieces of iron, and various other parts. So I'm fascinated. I'm longing to play lyre and aulos together, but the materials are problematic. Tortoise shell is not allowed. We're lucky that deer bone is, and so we have supplies of deer bone developing for production of these instruments. And yes, it's a real adventure, one where we really have to say, watch this space.